Aloha guys, it's your boy Rich. Let's go take a look at Aloha's GMT. Let's go. And here it is in 40 millimeters, 47 from lug to lug, 10.4 millimeters tall, and with a 20 millimeter lug width. And I'm not so sure where I should begin with this watch because, spoiler alert, I adore everything about the Aloha GMT inside and out. But we can start with the case shape. It has a very nice, classic, yet modern case shape. But I would have to say that easily the biggest star of this watch has to be this dial. It has a really rich navy sunburst effect dial and is easily one of the most striking blue dials that I've come across. But within this striking blue color, there are areas that really caught my attention, and that's within the GMT track in the center of the dial. What I mean by that is right underneath 12 o'clock, there is a half moon. And then right above 6 o'clock, there is a sun. And then continuing within the GMT track, and by the way, the moon represents the 24 and the sun, the 12 for the GMT function. But there are also dots or little circles and numbers around the GMT track there. And whenever I see circles or dots paired with a moon or the sun, it automatically evokes a starry evening on a really clear evening night, right? It almost gives that sense of a romantic feeling, and it is a really joy to stare at. I can't get enough of staring at this dial. And since we are talking about the GMT, we're going to notice that the orange tip on the second hand matches the GMT hour hand, and the text color where it says automatic, which is also in orange. And since we've been talking about the GMT, let's see how the GMT function works. So we'll unscrew the crown and pull it out. And in one direction of rotating the crown, we'll start to see the date change. So right now it says on the 14th, and there goes to the 15th, 16th, 17th. And then as we rotate the crown in the opposite direction, it'll adjust our second time zone hour hand. There it goes from 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, and while we're doing that, we should notice that it is not interrupting our main time zone. There we can see the seconds hand continuing to do its thing and sweep away. But it's not just sweeping away, and let me explain that. So let me screw back the crown, and it is a very smoothly operated crown. So what I mean is, as we see the seconds hand sweeping, it is really smooth. There is no herky-jerky on the automatic sweeping seconds hand there. And that's because the movement that is powering the Aloha GMT is the top grade at a 2893, which is a variation of the 2892, except it has the GMT function. This is an outstanding movement. So just how accurate is this movement? Wait for it. It is actually also regulated by Spencer, the owner of Aloha watches.
Spencer.
To -4 seconds to +4 seconds a day. And to help put that into perspective, a COSC certified watch is within -4 seconds to +6 seconds a day. So the Aloha GMT is well within COSC standards. So you can see why I am so easily enamored with this watch inside and out. So if we talk about the finishing, on the side of the case it is brushed, and between the side of the case and the lugs we see a nice beveled, polished accent right there. It's actually more than an accent. It is a nice strip of polished finishing that continues onto the bezel in a really nice mirror-like reflection. The finishing on the Aloha GMT is easily a step up from other newly released watches and is even on par with some of the much more expensive mainstream brands. That's how good the finishing is on the Aloha GMT. One of the other things that we have to talk about is the brand name Aloha, right? Because that was really intriguing to me. And admittedly, I wasn't so sure how I felt about that name. Usually we like to have a really cool or some kind of prestigious name. So if someone is complimentary on our watch and they say, oh, that's a really cool watch, who makes that? Or what kind of watch is that? We want to be able to respond proudly. But then I thought about it. If somebody is complimentary to us about this watch, and there isn't any reason why they wouldn't be, there's not a better way to extend that conversation than to say Aloha or it's an Aloha. So it just works so well on this beautiful watch. But instead of my trying to explain how Spencer came up with the name Aloha, I thought we would meet Spencer and hear, in his own words, how Spencer came up with the name Aloha.
In 2015, I was the CFO of one of the fastest growing mid-sized technology companies in Washington State, home of companies like Amazon and Microsoft. I was, quote, successful and accumulating things like very expensive Swiss watches. But something was missing, so I quit my job and decided to search for true happiness. I explored the world. In my travels, I found myself in some of the most beautiful places on the planet. But I still wasn't happy. One day, I was looking at one of my watches and wondered, what if I could build my perfect watch? After many months and revisions, I'm happy to say, this classic and clean design will still look great 50 years from now. The next challenge was to come up with a name for the brand. During my travels, I learned one of the keys to happiness is compassion. Basically wanting yourself and others to be happy. I tried many names related to this, but none seemed right until I found Aloha, which means peace, love, and compassion. So every time you look at the beautiful dial and see Aloha, I hope it makes you happy and reminds you to live a compassionate life. Aloha.
So while the version I have in my possession is in a sunburst blue, it is also available in black with a gilt dial. So we have to continue talking about the rest of the quality or features of this watch, because Spencer certainly didn't skimp anywhere on this watch. And we're talking about this leather strap right here. At first glance, it looks like every other leather strap that we either have seen or own, right? There's the hallmarks of the hand stitching. Okay, fine, we've seen that a lot. But there was something about this strap that was different from a lot of other straps that I own, even though it doesn't look any more special, though it does have a nice vintage brown effect going on here. But it felt differently, and it felt really comfortably, much more so than other straps that look identical to it. And it smelled differently. That's right, it just smells like a really rich piece of leather. And before I continue to extend on that commentary, there is the Aloha branding on the buckle. So upon further inspection of this leather strap, when I turned it over, again, it looks like every other leather strap. But I noticed the branding right here where it says B&R Bands. And they are known for producing some really excellent quality leather straps that are not run-of-the-mill leather straps that look very similar or identical to this. So again, Spencer did not skimp on the quality anywhere on his watch. So here is their case back with a beautiful custom rotor in an oscillating design that is meant to represent the flower of life. So this is just a very attractive watch inside and out, including the strap. So what is the retail price for the Aloha GMT? Well, it retails for $14.75, and I think that is a fair price for a watch that is this well made and this crafted, that uses a top grade movement and doesn't skimp on the leather strap. It is just a timeless look about this watch. It is not a very trendy watch or a fashion looking watch. It has that classic elements, the kind that we would want to wear every day, the kind of watch that we would not get tired of. Certainly we would not get tired of this dial. And the fact that it has a GMT function, I think, makes it just a very attractive watch. And the Aloha GMT, to me, is an easy recommend. Aloha, and thanks for joining me. I'll see you the next time. So why did Steven choose the name Aloha? There is the back with their custom motor, with the custom rotor. Come on, Ray.